everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Jerry Kage.
I got the beer down on the floor by Jerry. He's distracted like a fucking squirrel with shiny shit. That's how are you, man?
Hey, duck.
Yeah. That makes no sense, right? He's trying. That's like the drug test in the Cage household, apparently. So
whatever.
We have someone I think you might have met once or twice before. I don't know how long you know this guy for.
Man, a little bit. Yeah, probably since he was born.
Yeah, this is the year of the fucking Cage. Sherman, what's going on?
Not
brother?
much, man. Not much. Just, I was really fucking hesitant on, like, when you told me who was going to be the co-host. I was sitting there going, man, you can't set me up like that.
You know,
what I mean?
But I did ask you. I asked if it was okay. I did. I threw you under the bus a little bit. I said, "Is it cool if Jerry comes on?"
And that's why it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to sit on this. You know what I mean? 'Cause you can only take so much of Jerry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck, there we go.
I said, Jerry, is it fair to be on there? Because will he be able to tell stories that you won't know? You know what? He didn't give a shit. He's like, I don't give a shit. So that's how it rolls. And did you watch his episode?
I did.
He talks about you a lot, Sherman.
I know.
You're at least his third favorite brother.
At least the third. Yeah.
I don't know how many Cage brothers there are, but they've all been on this podcast.
Well, we don't either, if you ask my dad.
Right? Yeah. That's why we moved from Lincoln.
That's why we moved from
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
We might have a sister, you know.
You know what?
Dad says, he goes, you know why we moved from Lincoln, right? And we're like, no, Dad, why'd we move? He goes, so you don't marry your sister.
You know what?
Yeah.
This is funny because it's his home for me, man. So my mom swears up and down when Dad came back from Vietnam. He said that he's got a son over there or something, you know what I mean? So we always make the joke on this podcast that the shoes I'm wearing might have been sewed by my brother. I don't fucking know. And I have a sister I didn't meet till I was older named Crystal. So Mom's like, whatever you do, don't date Mexican girls named Crystal, Larry. Whatever you do. If she's Mexican and Crystal, don't even
go there.
Yeah, chance it.
Swab her mouth.
Who's your dad? Well, he got a brother Hutang Mao, and so shit. So yeah, no, I get it. So Larry Cage, you swab some bitch. Good for you.
Yeah. And we might have one too that made our shoes. We don't know because our old man was in Vietnam too.
Yeah, he was in Vietnam.
And so Jerry, we might have an older, somebody older than Jerry out there. So.
Oh yeah!
We were laughing.
And here comes the editing button.
They'll be watching this shit and see you two out there. Wow, they look like you. They look just like you.
You look like my brother.
Jerry, I can't use the accent to say Sherman. Sherman's Vietnam accent proof. Good for you. So, yeah, why start editing now? If they're going to come after me, they would have by now.
Right.
Well, just so she knows, I love Chinese food. I mean, if she can make a killer egg roll, man, I'll take it.
He knows that's a direct cotton treasure.
I know, right. He was never geological swab.
Neither am I. Neither am I. So.
It's all the same.
So we had a teacher on here from the Philippines, and I'm thinking like he's like talking about the Philippines, and I'm sitting there like the little risk map that I used to play the game on. I'm like, which one is the Philippines again? I'm with you. I have a Brush High School education. Enough said. So
I agree.
Yeah, enough said.
Yeah.
Fort Morgan.
Okay, we agree.
Fort Morgan High School.
Yeah, we agree with you.
Come on, hey, Bel Air.
That's why I brought my drool towel.
Speaking of that, hey, Dencia, who won the Fort Morgan Brush game?
Yeah, you guys won.
What?
About time. It's last time was 1990 something.
Dencia should have been on to make you wear a Morgan shirt.
She has ghosted me on this.
Oh, wow.
I called the own up to be like, let's hear it. Let's hear it, because I mean, whenever Brush has won, I send her videos, and Carrie says she gets mad, so angry. Because you know me, I'm condescending, and I'm a horrible winner, bro. I'm a shitty winner, and I'm like, well, he called me the night before, Carrie, because he's going to do some work at Mom's house, and he goes, so are you going to go to the game tomorrow? I go, what game? He's like, Fort Morgan Brush play, and I'm like, oh, and honest to God, I told him, you know what? When Brush stomps their ass again, I'm not going to call Dencia because I think she's seriously getting like angry. Like she has like stab dreams about me, just fucking right in the face. So, Dencia, you can come on. I've been waiting for it. It hurts my feelings. You haven't talked shit yet, or
no call, no nothing.
Last time I waited like 2 weeks.
Wow.
to let her think she's in the clear, and then I sent the videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Sherman, how you been, man?
Been good. Just hanging out, just living life, doing the, not an exciting life, just living.
You're working for DFA.
I work for DFA, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume when you put your application in, you said not
Absolutely
related
not.
to that kid.
Absolutely
Jerry,
not.
Jerry Cage?
Yeah.
No, not Jerry Cage.
Do you know anyone who does work for? Nope.
You have family that work for it. Nope.
It's the different breed of cages, different line. Yeah, not.
I spell them out of the C the correct way. That Cage family. Before we go any further, though, so if you're new to the Bullhucker podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. What we're going to do is bring on a guest today is Sherman Kage. Sherman's going to tell 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either borrowed, made up, or it's embellished. At the end, his brother and I are going to try and guess which one it is. Now, there's a little pressure on you for this one, bro.
It is.
Because, I mean, you guys are pretty tight brothers, though.
We're pretty tight.
At the end of the day, you guys are pretty tight. You like to give each other shit and,
Right.
and do horrible shit to one another, I might add. But
Well, my father assumes to think that ever since I tried to smother him when he was 4, that's all I want to do, so I'll have to tell you about that later.
Yeah.
Or did Dad tell you?
No.
No? All right.
No, I just knew about the smothering at my birth. I didn't know there was a second attempt.
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Well, according to Dad.
What does that mean? Smothering at your birth.
So the story goes. I mean, I could make it part of this thing here, but the legend goes that I came home from the hospital, and I'm in my crib, and Jerry left unattended. Why my parents left him unattended? I don't know. As a 4-year-old.
Mom went to the restroom.
Okay, so he had a shot. He took his shot.
Yeah.
And he was spoiled rotten. He had everything under the sun. My aunts, uncles, everybody gave him whatever he needed. He was supposedly, thought as the golden child, but he really wasn't.
Because they had nothing to compare it to at this point.
Because then when I came out, the whole aura glow was completely there.
And I almost ended it
and he knew,
before it even started.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And so Mom goes to the bathroom, and Jerry takes his shot. I'm in the crib. Jerry climbs the crib, puts a pillow over my head, and starts taking my breath away. Yeah,
like you cheated on him or something. Right?
Yeah,
like a bad breakup.
if Mom had to take a deuce, he probably wouldn't be sitting there right now. And I don't remember it, but I was told that when I was.
Yeah, you don't remember my ass. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, what, Mom? I'm playing with the baby.
It was a blue striped pillow.
Yeah. No. My cousin Shannon did the same thing to me. She's 2 years older than me. When I was born, Mom said she came in and Shannon had me by the leg, just like dragging me and smacking me across the crib. She's like, playing with the baby. She's like, you hit him in the head pretty hard.
Yeah,
and then later in life,
that
Mom's
makes
like,
a lot of sense.
my mom's like, Shannon, he's going to live with you later.
Right.
That's why Larry wears a hat all the time. He's probably got one flat spot.
I got lumpy like a limp demon or something. It's so horrible, man.
So to find out that there's possible second attempts really got me curious.
Yeah.
It concerned here. Maybe we need to get Jerry,
right.
evaluated first.
That's what I'm talking about. So you came out, and then he's like, "This is gonna fuck up my Christmas."
Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta end this cat,
Yeah,
dude.
we got to nip this in the bud right now.
How much younger is Steven?
We're all
So,
4 years.
We're all 4
4
years.
years.
Apart. So he's 8 years younger than me, 4 years.
Because he kind of said you were already gone by the time he got old enough to mess with you, right? So
Yeah.
you two were okay. Yeah. All right. Steven is, by the way, the best one. I just want to hear that. That's pretty consensus. So I mean,
I didn't even know he was alive for 15, 20 years.
Steve?
Yeah.
I know.
All of a sudden he walks
was-
in the house. I'm like, whoa, where'd you come from?
I know.
We had a little brother? What?
Yeah, Jerry says, "Hey, my brother wants to come on." I'm like, "What's Sherman? My other brother." I go, "You got another brother?"
I know. That's what he said. He goes, "There's another one?" I'm like, "Yeah, most people don't know about him, but
He's the best
There
one.
is.
He's the best
There is.
one. I like him the most. So anyway, Sherman, you ready to tell some stories, bro?
Let's tell some
I
stories.
got a feeling we're going to be bullshitting on this. So, all right. You want to read them off, Jerry?
yeah, sure."
Thank you.
Trying my linguistics
This
out.
is my fun to
I
watch
know,
him read.
that was funny last time, yeah. I was
As
like,
he calls me the head everyone.
hooked on
Yeah,
phonics
yeah.
did not work
Use
for
your
Jerry.
words. Sound
Okay.
it out.
So we have dancing bears, crossover ghost, and Colt Spring Crossing.
All right.
Yeah. Good job, Jerry.
Take that.
Jerry.
Take that, Larry.
You're literate. Good for you. You're only 63 years old. About time you learn. So, anyway, why don't you pick one out, big brother?
Your high school English teacher's so proud right now.
She's like, I told you. I told you.
I knew he could do it. I knew he could do it.
Good job. She's sitting over there.
I knew when I watched a podcast and Jerry wasn't wearing his helmet. Oh, he had turned a corner. He had turned a corner. All right.
Let's go with Dancing Bears.
Dancing Bears.
Just start off right off.
Dancing Bears. Okay, well, I was about 21 years old, and
I see why you picked this story because I was.
You were gone.
I was living with some buddies here in Brush, good buddies of mine, and then you probably know them. You probably know where we lived.
I think so.
Out on 71.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was me and Tim Ramirez and Jason Barnes and Chase Felzine.
Wow.
And we decided that, when we were in our hippie stage era, so everything was legal at the time in our minds. So we were just bored one night. We were partying. We kind of got partied out on all the keg beer, and we're just like, let's go do something different. So we decided to make an impromptu trip to Boulder.
Okay.
And so we make this impromptu trip to Boulder. We're climbing up, we're on Pearl Street hanging out. We have a mission. We're looking for some shrooms.
Yeah.
And so we're walking around, and there's this little dude walking around, those Mexican parkas, they're kind of woven,
Yeah.
dreadlocks hanging from his head. And
Larry had one on the other day.
I do. I still own one. Out of seriously, yeah, I still own one. Go ahead.
And
fuck you, they're warm.
he's got a guitar slung to his back, and he's walking around, and he's got his head down. All you can hear is, "I want to buy some shrooms. I want to buy some shrooms. I want to buy some weed. I want to buy some shrooms." Can't see his face, nothing like that. Probably the most sketchiest thing you could ever see in the world.
Right.
So we're walking, and he's like, "Want to buy some shrooms? Want to buy some shrooms?" So we're like, "There it is. That's what we came here for. We're in. We're in." We're like, "Yeah, man. We want to partake." And he goes, "Well, meet me around the alley in the back." So then, of course, now we're going. And this dude was like probably 4.5 foot tall. Just a little cat.
Oh, so he really had a big knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight from Smurf Mountain. I mean, it was
a Russ Rodriguez.
Thank God he doesn't watch us.
So we go to the alley, and he goes, "So what do you want?" And I was like, just give me a couple sacks of shrooms."
Yeah.
And flips his guitar around and literally hits this thing twice, boom, boom, on the face of the guitar. 2 baggies pop out of the little hole and hands them to us. Hand him a 20, and I was like, "That is crazy." I said, "So what if I wanted a third bag?" Boom, hits it again. So he had this guitar rigged up to where he hit a certain spot, and it dropped what he wanted. You know what I mean? And so I was like, "Shit, okay, well, might as well take that third bag." Since,
since it's out.
I hate for you to try to shove it back up in there. It's inconvenient for you, my guy. Do I get a discount for, So we partake. We hit the car, hit the parking lot, and just start chowing. And not the best taste in the world, nothing.
They're shit. They're growing shit.
They're growing under shit.
Yeah.
Nothing good about it.
Yeah.
So we get halfway. I mean, we hadn't even left Boulder yet. We're probably a mile or 2 out of Boulder, and we're cruising down 76, 25. Then we get on 76, and I'm just like, what? And I'm driving, so I'm just like, what in the fuck is going on? Everything's just starting to go in different directions, and I look back, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck are those elephants? And I could have swore that I seen elephants marching down the mountain, like in sequence, like just kicking around the mountain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, man. So I, give a good eye rub, and I'm like trying to hit the sober button, that it worked so many times when I was drunk, and I had to go home, or the cops pulled me over, and I was like, sober button, and I'm good. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm going, okay, I'm just not going to freak out. It's not a bad deal. They're way back there, but damn, they're coming,
Yeah.
So we're cruising, and then we get to about the old Tomahawk truck stop. So we get past the Tomahawk truck stop, and all of a sudden I look over, and I look back, and I'm like, no fucking way. You got to be kidding me. Look over again, and I got the Dancing Bears from the Grateful Dead jamming beside me in the car. Like, they're dancing beside my car as I'm driving. I'm doing 75 miles an hour.
Right.
And I look over. There's no fucking way, man. So I pull over. I was like, I got to pull over.
Yeah.
The other 3 cats, they're in the back. They're fucking...
Tripping balls.
They're lost. You know what I mean? They're lost. And so I pull over, and I'm like, step out of the car, get some air. Next thing you know, the yellow bear walks up to me, and he says, hey, bro, I just want you to know that we got you. We're going to follow you all the way home to make sure you're safe.
I hear the yellow one's the trustworthy one anyway. So that's the one you yeah. The blue one's a shyster. You gotta watch out Blue Bear. That's some bitch, yeah.
And so I was like, so then I felt really, I was like, shit, man, I feel really comfortable right now. You know what I mean? I felt literally
He's all got his arm around it.
Yeah, I was like, I feel warm and fuzzy right now. Like, you know what?
I got you, big guy.
I'm okay. I'm okay getting to brush.
Yeah. Get to the point where the bear tells you to take your pants off.
yeah. Then, that's another story.
Okay, all right.
So we get back, we get to the turnoff right there by the airport, or not by the airport, by the sailboat on the hill.
Okay.
Because that's where we turn off to get on 71 and come home. And we get to the turnoff right there, and he looks at us and he goes, "See you from here, man. Have a good trip." So we drive up, we drive into the place, our trailer home, and then we proceeded to just chill out and continue our trip. Yeah. And watch to some acid with Lords of Acid and strobe lights and all.
I haven't heard Lords of Acid for a long time, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. So that was our night, man. And I, of course I tried telling the other 3, and they're just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We didn't even go to Boulder." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? We went to Boulder." And they're like, "No, we didn't go to Boulder." I was like, "Yeah, we did. You guys didn't go to Boulder. You guys went somewhere else, but we went to Boulder." And so then that was it, man.
But if it was the old school Tomahawk, you could have saved a trip to Boulder and just probably bought the drugs at the Tomahawk.
Yeah, right. But then I'd
have a little restaurant next door.
I'd have to probably take a shot of penicillin with it.
Whatever it takes, man. You know what I'm saying?
There was a lot of sketchy people at that little restaurant, especially after concerts and stuff.
Oh, at the Tomahawk?
Yeah, the Tomahawk. That place was nasty.
But I tell you what, like living in Pueblo, it's like standard thing. Like after the bar, everybody goes and eats Denny's, whatever, the Southwest Grill in Pueblo. Hell yeah. You got to give the cook a shot of heroin to wake him up to cook your eggs, but whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said,
whatever it takes, you're hungry.
It's so fucking sketchy there. But anyway, when I moved back, everybody's like, "Yeah, we go to Diggers there at the Tomahawk." I was like, "Well, you know what? Lucky for you, I've had enough to drink. That sounds like a good plan."
Sounds like a good.
Which Tomahawk are you talking about? The old
Brush, in Brush.
The one in Brush, or the one in outside of Denver?
The Tomahawk there in Roggen or whatever.
Yeah,
Brighton.
that's the one.
Brighton.
Yeah, the one now. That's what I thought he was talking.
Okay,
yeah. So we got to the Tomahawk in Brighton.
Oh, he's all in Brush. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you could have bought the drugs at the one in Brush back in the day. So,
because there's that big, huge, like it was when they kind of built C470.
Yeah.
There's that big vidoc right after that.
Did you ever get there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it had that old guy sitting when you first walk in the door, and he'd be like,
They're selling rocks or something, right? Or those polished rocks or something.
Yeah,
well,
they were worry stones, worry rocks.
Those kind of rocks.
Grinding them up.
I mean, depending on who was walking by or what truck number you had to go to get the other rocks.
Right.
You ever done hash or like mushrooms or any of that?
I was just going to say I've never done mushrooms.
Neither have I.
I've never done mushrooms.
So when I lived in Pueblo at the nightclub, one of the bouncers was Robert and Alma Howe. What's up, Robert and Alma? Hope you guys doing awesome. They were great people from an Indian reservation. He was full blooded. He had peyote. You could have it legally because it's a religious thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
You ever had peyote?
No.
There was like 10 of us, and I was the only one that didn't do it, man. Because I'm like, I don't think I'd be good on me hallucinating is probably not in anybody's best interest. I just think there's no about myself. So everybody else start eating this peyote and shit. Like, and Robert and Alma, it's a religious thing to them. It's a crazy thing.
yeah.
But for the other white boys we're all with, this is a fucking wild ride. The one sat there smiling and did this the whole time, just nodded his head, staring at something for, I mean, a solid hour. So the next day I'm like, what were you? The Planner's Peanut Man. Just dancing the whole time. He said he watched him dance for the whole hour. Just said he smiled the whole time. It was the shit. Like doing little backflips.
That was his spirit animal.
I guess so.
So it makes total sense why his head was bouncing around.
I'm sitting there drinking Yukon Jack, thinking you fucking psychopath, man. And dude, it was. But you know what? It was quite the interesting situation to be in. When I'm the only one. Like if some shit goes down, they have to rely on drunk Larry to pull through it. So
Right.
it's knock on wood, nothing bad happened because that would have been tragic.
I think
for everybody.
peyote's supposed to be kind of like that. What is it? Ayahuasca or whatever.
I don't think so. I think
No?
it's more. I think it's more like mushrooms.
It's more of that's more of a mushroom.
Ayahuasca
What
is
is ayahuasca is?
that's a water, not water, but liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Peyote and mushrooms are supposed to be like similar.
yeah.
I was the good child, so I didn't do any of that.
So I think I don't know. I can't remember if peyote was like a cactus type.
I don't know. I know that Native Americans. It's
Yeah,
part of their
it's-
religion. That's how
Right.
they see.
Yeah, I knew
you
that.
know.
That's how they figure out their spirit animal
yeah.
when they go on their journey
Their
or whatever.
vision, yeah.
Ayahuasca is. I know it makes you violently sick, like you vomit violently for like a half hour or something. But then it's supposed to be like an enlightening trip you go on. So
Right.
Would you?
Well, that's what mushrooms are kind of do. It basically gives you food poisoning, don't it?
No, I never got
Or
sick.
something like that.
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think about that story?
You know, I know the cats he was talking about because they hung out quite a bit there for quite a while, especially
Timmy.
Timmy.
Yeah.
And
Mini ox.
the other ones I didn't know as well, but you and Tim were pretty tight over that period when I was in the service and everything. But yeah, no, I've never heard that story, so
Really?
so this will be interesting.
It's hilarious you brought that up because that's the same exact reason I know those guys you're talking about. So that kind of solidifies that story to an extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like Chase Filzine, I knew Chase Filzine in high school pretty well. So he's a good dude, man.
Great dudes, man.
Yeah, he,
you know, my boys, you know, still to this day.
Yeah, I think he works for the prison system.
Yeah, he
so,
works for this. Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
You ever talk to Tim anymore?
Oh yeah, I talk
Yeah.
to him once in a while. Yeah,
he's,
they're all good dudes, man.
yeah.
Just you know,
Yeah.
lifelong friends. You know,
Jason Barnes, I haven't seen in a long time. But probably
Yeah.
since high school. I was never really. I didn't know him that well. So yeah.
Yeah, Barnes is in Colorado Springs area, I think. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you two are the same age,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
94. Is that what he
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Old looking motherfucker.
Yeah, here we go. He's all sensitive about the age thing. Sherman, let's not
Trust
touch
me,
it.
trust me.
He gets
'Cause
sad,
whenever he
bro.
starts drinking and we walk into any place, anywhere, the first thing he says, "Who looks older? Who looks older?" I'm like, "Who gives a fuck shit, Jerry?
I do.
You're the one. You're
I
the
do.
one that's got the complex.
I do.
You know, you're
Yeah.
wearing this complex, bro. Calm down."
I know.
See, this was important in the year he was born back in the 40s. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And I still look this good.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
So it goes back to that psychopath mentality.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well, yeah, since you took 8 years off Sherman's life
Yeah.
choking him, it's probably, you can't blame him.
That's why he looks older
when,
than I do.
When you denied him oxygen as a
Yeah,
child.
exactly.
That probably has something to do with it. You hardly something. I hope when you get old, Jerry, and you go home and Sherman's like, "Come on, kids, let's go see your dad and your Uncle Jerry."
oh, it's already here.
And you're like, "Kids, I want to talk to my brother." And he puts the pillow over your head, you know.
And it's gonna be one of those. Just let it go, Jerry.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
And the nurse
Yeah.
comes in, and Sherman's like, "Hey, last time I was wearing a diaper, he choked me, so we're even." This is the same exact situation, except for mom's pissing, and she's not here to save Jerry's ass. This is what
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Okay. All right. Next time I tell you, shut the mic off. I'm just telling you right now. Okay.
And we hit the edit button. You're not getting me with that one. fucker.
All right. I like the Dance and Bear story. About 96, 97, 95, somewhere around there.
So the 90 had been like 96, 97.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Okay. A lot of the references to it. And the Tomahawk, I forgot about the Tomahawk up there, man,
Yeah.
in Brighton. Yeah, it was a pretty sketchy place indeed,
yeah.
man. It was, but you're right. Every time you come back from Denver or go to Denver.
Or go to a concert.
That was the stop.
That was the stop. Sometimes you'd stop in Stuckey's.
Oh,
The old Stuckey.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
Right
you
there.
are old.
Right there in Rogan.
You are old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you reference? You know what I'm talking about. You go, oh.
Not a lot of people remember that one.
I think it's still open.
And
Yeah,
the building's,
still
there.
there.
Oh.
But it's a different. It's not Stuckey's
All
anymore.
Stuckey. I think there is. I think I saw something one time that there is one Stuckey's like open somewhere.
I believe it's up in going to Cactus in Burlington. You what's that? Starts with an S. That town. Like you take 36. No, maybe it's Strasburg. You take 36 until you hit 70. It's where you get off to get onto 70 from like Cope. What's the name of that town? There's that truck shop right there. I think that's the Stuckey's, or it's built like one. You know, it's got like the tie-dye T-shirts and all the licorice.
Right,
That's
yeah.
pretty much the, yeah. So
right.
all right. The one great story down. We got 2 more to go. Crossover Ghost in Colt Springs. What is that, crossover?
Oh, here we go.
Crossing.
Crossing. I can't help that he left out 3 letters.
The brush.
Oh, come on.
Coming on.
I left 3 letters out because I thought you were going to have Jared read them all.
And I knew how to read it.
Colts. That's good. Go, Junior. All right. There's one I always want to hear more than the other one, so let's save it to last. Let's hear Colt Springs Crossing.
Colt Springs Crossing. Oh, man, I think I was probably like 10 or 11. And at this time, me and my dad used to like to fish a lot. And so we'd always go down fishing. We'd like to go night fishing. Well, we went with some buddies of ours, my dad's best friend, Maynard, and his kids. And so we went down to Mirror Springs. And so we're like, let's go to Mirror. That's when it was open. Mirror Springs was open fishing for everybody. So we go down to Mirror Springs and we're fishing and got a fire going. Next thing you know, it's getting to be like maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you start hearing footsteps just crunching in the forest behind us.
Right.
And it just keeps getting closer and closer. So my dad turns around and he's like, hey, who the fuck's back there? What's going on? You know, and we had a good sized campfire.
Yeah.
So a wild animal's not coming up to a campfire.
Right,
You know,
right.
that was something we were always taught. You know, just if it's a wild animal, they will not come near a campfire to that closeness. And so this thing got like probably from me to the wall. Like it was close.
Right.
And it was just crunching. You can tell 2 feet to 4 feet too.
Right.
And just crunching. And my dad's like, hey, just so you know, I got a gun. And at that time, his buddy Maynard pulls out this 44 mag, rolls it, zoom, clock, snaps it back, and you hear this thing take off running. So you would have thought you would have taken your 10-year-old kids, and I was the oldest one at the time because I had my little brother, so my little brother was probably 6. You know,
Steven?
Yeah.
The best cage.
Yeah, and I was out partying at that time. So
Yeah.
if he was 10, I was 14. So.
You know, I may have been a little older, but still, either way, Jerry was out doing his thing. It was probably Jerry at Mirror Springs because that's where they used to party back in the day.
Right? You do got a point.
And Jerry's got a habit to see if anybody's got beer around him. So he probably ran out of beer. He's like, hey, Dad, you got any beer?
I'm like, I got to get close enough to that fire.
I forgot my wallet, Dad.
And he ran because the gun came out. And
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Hon Cooper. Ain't that too familiar? I forgot my wallet. You guys
Shut
got
the
me?
hell up.
You got me?
Here we go.
So anyway, so we just you would have thought that they would have taken us kids and be like, hey, let's pack up and let's leave. No, we're still fishing. We're not fucking leaving.
Yeah, he's not scared.
You know, it's like the Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't fucking leaving. And so we're still fishing. Next thing you know, we see a light coming down the trail, and I don't know if you're familiar with Mirror Springs or not.
A little bit.
But you come down that trail, and there's that bridge between the 2 ponds when you first come down. We see this big shining light coming in, and he walks down, and it's a Morgan County Sheriff's Deputy. It's Mark Escamilla. And he's
What's up,
like,
Mark?
and he looks and he goes, what are you guys doing down here? We're like, just fishing. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I just want you guys to be careful. And we came down to check because they have scheduled cult meetings down here.
See? Okay. All right.
And so we're like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, they do scheduled cult meetings down here every so often, and so our CIs have said that there's activity down here tonight. So we got people everywhere.
Right. Sherman pulls the hood over. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sherman, take that buffalo mask off.
So that's when he said, that's probably why he took off running, because Jerry saw the cops coming.
Yeah. The cops were like, sir, if you're going to have a campfire, can you please not have any pentagram sign?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
And so,
I was making sure my dad was fishing.
Yeah.
So we were like, so my dad's like, you're full of bullshit. And they're like, no, I'm serious. He's like, they have scheduled call meetings down here, and, we just want to make sure that we would advise you guys to leave. Wow. And we're like, so we told him what happened, and he goes, yeah, our people are down here, and they said that there's activity going on down here right now. So that's why we saw the campfires. We want to make sure that you guys were not part of what was happening.
Right.
And so at that point in time, it took the cops for my dad to pack us all up and say, we better go. And so then we went back the next morning, because my dad's a curious cat. He can't leave things alone. So we go back the next morning, and we start kicking around, looking around that area, kind of deeper in. Well, we had also heard, some wives' tales that there's some underground catacombs down there.
Really?
And so we're kicking around. Well, we end up finding this door. And Maynard's like, hey, I found this door. And it opened it up, and there was some stairs going down. And this little we didn't go down in it, but you could see down in there.
Right.
Little cavern, and mason jars and shit down underneath this little trap door. Not a trap door, but a door that was covered with leaves and rocks and shit.
Right.
That would be a trap door.
No,
a trap door, you fall in.
Yeah. That's just a hidden door.
Not necessarily.
So that would not be a trap door.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
It's called a entry door.
That's when he got molested as a child. They trapped him through the door like that. They shut the door, and he's like, it's a trap. And so everybody's like, these are trap doors.
No more locked doors. No more locked doors.
Rape my brother Sherman. He looks older. I'm no so little.
He loves wearing a diaper and a pillow over his head.
Right.
You can choke him. You don't care.
So
I can't even put this episode out now.
we're going to have to start all over.
Yeah, no.
This is
one cage per episode. That's from now on. That's So sorry. You go ahead.
So that was it, man. Then we kind of went about our business and really never really said anything or talked about it or heard any more about it.
It's crazy. When I was in high school, early 90s, we used to go devil worship hunting. Like, my buddy had a Jeep. We go hauling it. And I'm always like, what happens if we catch them? Like, we find them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's a devil worshiper worth on the open market? I don't even know, So I never saw anything out there, though. We never came across anything, but my buddy swears up and down that he's been there a few times, and like you go on bonfires or whatever, and people wearing masks. And so, I don't know if he's full of shit or what, but I mean, or he was just saying that to freak us out when we were driving down there.
Sure.
But it's pitch black out there, man.
No, they're. We went down to Log Lane one time, and went out by the river, and we were getting chased by them one night.
Really?
Oh yeah. So and they even had I don't know if you remember, I think it was called the Tornado, but it had the one pole up the middle of it and the ring, and then it had a bunch of chains. It was like a kid's jungle gym kind of thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
And you would
merry-go-round
spin
of death.
Yeah, and you would spin it till it got really tight, and then let go, and then kids would be like flying off. Supposedly they found somebody hung out there on that, like sacrificed one time.
Really? Mm-hmm. Like, is that a wife? Is that a
no
urban legend? Or
no,
that happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild that you guys brought that up, because I mean, like I said, we never found anything. I don't know if we would.
It's probably because all the guys you were with were devil worshippers. They were trying to recruit you into a meeting.
You guys want to kill Larry? You want to dig that big a hole?
We're going to have him bring that jungle gym piece down.
That's it. We talked to the devil. He said he already kind of owns him. It's fine. It's like
Larry's like, why am I rolling this big ring down here?
Yeah. That's
don't worry about it, Larry.
Yeah.
That's wild stuff, though. I mean, you know how many times that could have went south on you?
Oh yeah. And there's been other times where, take South Sherman. You take South Sherman all the way like to Q, and you go back kind of like where Miller's Landscape and stuff like that is.
Okay.
Well, back in the day, there was nothing out there. It was real desolate. And,
Right.
And there's you go back in there, and there's some craters and stuff down there, and you can sit up in some bluffs and look down and see where they used to have.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
It's not related, but it's kind of along the same lines. I'm not from Fort Morgan, so I'd never heard of this place. This school out, Adina.
Oh, yeah.
Rick,
That was
Rick Stroh brought it up one time, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. So I started looking it up after the podcast. That's crazy out there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You been out there?
Yeah. Didn't I tell you the story about
Maybe you did.
about taking my truck out there? We were partying, and we drove out there, and we were just hanging out. And this is during the day, and we're hanging out. It was me and a couple buddies, and we go out hang out, and we're just sitting outside drinking beer, and they were drinking beer.
Yeah. Jerry's
And,
reading the Bible with a top
yeah,
off his
yeah,
water.
yeah. And so we hung out for about, 10, 15 minutes. And then we came back and we parked in my garage. And when I was doing a walk around my truck, there was this little pink barrette sitting on my bumper. And I have boys. I don't have girls. And there's not been anybody that would have a little pink barrette put
Really?
on my bumper. Yeah, and when we got back to my garage, I was getting ready to close the door, and I'm like, what the hell? And it was a little pink barrette, dude.
That's what he told Felicia.
Yeah.
That must have been the ghost underwear.
It must have been the ghost underwear, too.
Look, this ghost used one of my condoms and left it on the floor. This insensitive son of a bitch.
Did you wear a cheetah?
Wow.
Wow, Jerry.
Wow.
That's on you.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? We're not going to size shame even if they are ghosts.
But yeah, no. So that was, it was pretty freaky. I mean, the hair
Sure.
would just stood up on everybody's arm.
Because it's at your home.
Huh?
It's at your home this is happening.
No.
So you found it, I thought your garage, you said in the...
Yeah, once I got home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that like a pink little cheap
For it to
plastic
stick to
barrette.
your bumper the whole time.
My
Yeah,
point, yeah.
riding in the dirt roads
Yeah.
out there, and
That's my point, though. I mean, it's one thing when you're out there. It's another thing when something happens at your house.
yeah. Well, it was,
Well,
and all I could think of was that it rode all the way back with us.
we're not falling off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean,
It
it was weird. It
Half
was
an ounce.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it doesn't weigh much, so for the wind to hit, it would be nothing to
Oh,
pick
I
up.
thought you were talking something else. I'm like, wait.
Maybe after half
I'm
an
like,
hour,
oh yeah,
you were seeing pink barrettes.
yeah.
Yeah, see, Pink Brits, that yellow bear's back.
Sherman's bear followed me home.
His
Yeah.
damn boulder bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's freaky. When Rick
Yeah.
was telling me that story, if you listen to his way back when the episode was, his story was, and it was a true story, that they got chased by a truck out there. And
Yeah, that's right.
and they said that he said no matter what they did, this truck was on him like a professional driver, like
Some Jeepers Creepers
yeah,
shit.
yes, exactly. So I've never been out there, and I think it's locked up. I don't think you can go inside that school, right?
It's fenced off, and there's no trespassing signs all over it.
right, but kids still go out there though, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And it's not even really that creepy of a school, It's like a little.
It's abandoned though, right?
Yeah, it's like an old brick building.
Right.
It's kind of like Green Acres, I guess.
Right.
But it's nothing.
Yeah.
And you can still see like the jungle gym out in the weeds and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's.
As a kid, if you go by Ebenezer, that cross, it's always the light's always on, or trains are. Okay, if you go over the tracks to the east side of on the east side of the road, there's that underground house.
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever go inside that? 'Cause
No.
there was pentagrams and I don't know if it's red blood or red paint or blood, but it was all over the walls. Me and Mac went in there one time, dude, and it was wild, man. It was something. Cause
Yeah, those never scared. Our grandparents used to live in what?
Yeah.
But this one had shit written all over the walls, like satanic.
I heard
shit.
about it.
Yeah.
I think I heard something about it. But.
So Mac and my buddy Mac and I, we rode our bikes out there one day, and it was not. That's some nightmare fuel right there. So,
Sure.
Me.
It's
No,
scares
I'd
the
have
atmosphere.
spent the night in that thing.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, you would have. That's where the blood would have came from with your period bust. Shit.
I'd have been like, these cheetah underwear must have been Larry's. They're all soiled.
He goes, they are Larry.
Smells like Larry. Smells like Larry.
Smells like my chin. So yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Go hurt my wrist like Russ.
One cage at a time.
You open that door.
I did. So, all right. What'd you think about that one, Jerry?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
In fact, I recognize that story because when I was younger, I remember. I mean, I was probably hungover when they were talking about it, but yeah, I do remember them all going down there, and I know Dennis and Dad would take Sherman and Steve down there and go fishing. We used to do a lot of fishing at Mirror Springs,
Right.
And I remember them talking about that night and hearing something, and you know, Dad embellishes stories too, but he was talking about it, so
Yeah.
I do remember that story pretty vaguely. So,
But put yourself in this situation, being a father. I mean, you can defend yourself, Jerry.
yeah.
But when your kids are with you, now there's an added.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like,
The adrenaline's just.
But
And Dad's not one to back down from shit. Though.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no backing. He's like,
It's already.
we ain't leaving. Like I
if
said,
it's there, Dad's like,
yeah.
you know, and that's something he always taught us too. You know, you automatically go into
fight or flight.
hit a motherfucker in the throat.
we're not backing the kids up. We're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I distinctly remember him telling me, grab that shovel over there because we're getting this is happening.
This is going down. What's going down? Yeah.
With the shovel.
Yeah.
As long as Steve didn't get hurt, because he's the best cage. So there you
Steve was probably still fishing. Steve's like, what's going on?
Steven did have his helmet on that day.
go. Papa?
Oh, we love you, Steve.
Simple Jack.
Why are you gonna hurt me?
Hey, that crappie took my worm. I need another worm. What the hell are you guys doing?
Steven, we just see you eat the worm. Take it out of your mouth, Steve. You're my favorite, Steve. I don't know why these assholes are making funny. It's not right. So, all right. I like that, too. I always like when they bring on local references on the podcast. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's, especially we're all getting to that age where you've been around long enough to where it's... Is that still a thing out there, you think? Is that...
What's that, Mirror Springs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's private
$100
now, though.
Well, it's $100 for the year.
But it's a private club. I mean, that's
But I was talking to Joe Reuter. Hey, Joe. He has Reuter Plumbing.
So, Joe, he is a man.
Yeah, Joe's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. But he has a membership down there. And so one day I asked him about it, and I said, well, what's the membership cost? He's like, it's $100 a year. I'm like, damn, that's it. Because they got a firing range down there.
Mm-hmm.
They got...
But I mean, when you
ponds.
charge something, you keep the ones you want out. You know,
Exactly.
you guys aren't gonna-
Right.
And they only allow so many people. They got it to where now where somebody's got to leave in order to fill a seat.
Right.
So
Kind
That's
of like
cool.
Empire and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's pretty crazy, man. There's a lot of stories of kids from Fort Morgan that came on this podcast to talk about Mirror Springs, going out there for high school parties all the time.
well, that was the party spot.
See, we went to Pruitt Reservoir in Brush, man.
See, we used to go out to North Shore.
North Shore
Yeah.
in Jackson.
Out at Jackson.
Or out,
But
by,
that always got busted.
Always.
Always.
out by where you live, Sean Kelly used to live on 9 Mile Corner out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's he had a big barn out there, and his mom didn't
Oh, yeah.
care, so he used to.
Oh, yeah. I partied out there.
Oh, Sean Kelly, yeah. There was a kid we went to school with, I won't say his name out loud. Smart, so smart, but awkward smart. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they got him drunk for the first time, and he climbed to that first, like the barns have that big window up there, and
Yeah.
started telling people it was Jesus, and people were like, "Fly, Jesus, fly!" I remember Sean Kelly going, "Hey, dude."
Yeah, don't
Dude,
listen to him.
Please don't jump off there, man. And we're all high school kids. We're like, this would be hilarious, if he
Yeah.
dies tonight, But that barn, because remember there was couches lined all around the barn.
Yeah.
Like it was built to have high school parties out there, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Sean Killer? You got to bring him back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Crazy bastard. All right. That's 2 down. Dancing Bears and Colt Springs Crossing. That one left over. Crossover Ghost.
Crossover Ghost, man. This one's pretty dear to me. So I was living in Akron, and we just bought this new house. My son was, I think he was like 2 or 3, and
Is that on 8th Street?
no, it's that one right there on Bent.
Oh, on Bent. Yeah.
That newer house that we
Yeah.
bought there. And so as soon as we moved in, it was my middle daughter. She just started, she was really talking weird, just being like, hey, there's people here. There's people in my room. And
Right.
I was like, you're fucking full of shit. Well, I don't know, and I was a cop at the time. I was working at the sheriff's department there in Akron. And she's like, no, there's people in my room.
Yeah.
There's this little girl that just keeps running around my room.
Right.
And so then I worked nights, so then I'd get off, and so you work nights, you're up all night, from your first day off and watching TV, and all of a sudden, the living room sat here, and then there was a door, and then there was kind of a little foyer here with a bedroom, and a bathroom, and then the stairs that go down. Well, that light just kept flickering in the foyer, and so I was like, Amber, quit fucking around.
Like someone's clicking on and off.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah,
electricity.
No, it was clicking on and off.
Okay.
And so I tell my daughter, I was like, will you quit fucking around?
Yeah.
Go to bed. You got school tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't stop. So then I get up, and the door that separates that foyer in the living room
Right.
slams shut. Boom. And so I'm like, what in the fuck? So I open it back up. And I go back to the couch. Bam! It slams again. So I open it back up. I go into Amber's room, and I look, and she's in there sleeping. Well, then I go into Brennan's room, which was straight ahead, kind of his room / office, and I look, and he's in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The windows are shut, So I go back to bed. Nothing happened the rest of the night. A couple nights later, my son just freaking out, flipping out. I'm not sleeping in there. I'm not sleeping in there. I'm not going in there. I'm not leaving in there. I'm not going in there. And we could never, so we had a paper route too, so we'd get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and go deliver papers, and instead of waking kids up, we'd just go do it. Well, he would hear us get up, and he would be like, I'm going with you. You're not leaving me here by myself.
Right.
And so he would go with us, and then we'd come back, and then it just kind of continued. The door slamming, the lights flickering. Next thing you know, all the doors in that foyer started to close and open by themselves.
Right.
So I'm sitting there one time, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I open my eyes, and I see this little girl. This probably 7-8-year-old, and like I would say like a 1920s era dress.
Okay.
And I'm like, holy fuck. And it's in the living room, standing there with me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, we're good people, you good, or what are we doing here, And I just kept seeing her reappear. Then she would disappear, and then she would reappear, and then she'd disappear and reappear. Throughout, this was going on throughout a period of time.
Okay.
Amber and Mackenzie were around that age too.
And so, my daughter, my middle daughter was around that age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, she just kept showing up more and more, making herself known to me more and more. And so, ended up getting a divorce, moving out of the house.
Not disclosing that.
Ended up getting a divorce, moving out of the house. Well, the funny thing is that me and my son, Brendan was he was in 6th grade at this time. So there's, good 4 years there. And we moved to this other house across town, and she's still there. She followed you. She followed me, and she's still appearing. And so Brendan would be like, she's still here. I still, shit's still opening and closing, but he was a little more comfortable and wouldn't freak out as bad. But She would just really make herself known to me. And so then I was just like, man, this is fucking crazy. So then I ended up moving to Holyoke. And when I moved to Holyoke, had a brand new house. It was like the house was like a year old, moving to this brand new house. Next thing you know, she's there. She reappears and she's like, I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
And it got to the point to where I would have to tell her, why don't you go play or go leave or go do something? And she would start showing emotions. And so she would start kicking the bottom of the bed. Like she'd crawl into the bed and start hitting the bottom of the bed. Or she would crawl, you know how you feel like somebody crawl on the bed from the foot? You could feel it crawl on the bed.
That's Larry's go-to move.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say something about you, and I was going to let him finish the story. Go ahead.
And so it just got to the point where she was just, you know, she was just anywhere and everywhere, you know. And so I'd have to tell her, you know, just keep it down, you know, let's not act. So then it got to the point to where she started to show herself to me in two different modes. Started to show herself to me in crypt mode and normal apparition. So
What was the first one?
crypt. So like she looked like she just like you opened her coffin.
Oh, okay.
Like ghosts, like
Okay.
skeleton.
She was throwing gang signs.
Yeah. She saw you wearing that red
Right.
jersey.
She's like,
blood's no.
Yeah. So it was a crypt mode. Like she was like you opened her casket and you saw her skeletal bones, and then she would show herself to me in regular apparition,
Right.
normal mode. So I don't know if you're familiar with ghost, you know, people.
Yeah, I love it. Go ahead.
So I email Amy Allen.
Who's Amy Allen?
She's the one that she does that show with. She's like a medium, and she does that show with that cop.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I have seen it. Yes.
And so I email her, and I was like, hey, I've had this girl with me for a good 5-6 years now, maybe even a little more. And now she's starting to really show her, she's starting to act out, and she's starting to show herself to me in different, you know, modes. She won't talk to me. I can't hear her, but she's showing herself to me in two different modes. And she emails me back, and she goes, because she's trying to show her emotions. She's trying to show you emotions since she can't communicate with you. So, long story short, she keeps, you know, she follows me around. Well, my oldest daughter is getting married. So we go back to Akron. Go to my buddy Chad Burns' house. Chad Burns, Amanda, what's up, guys?
What's up, Chad?
Miss you, love you. Hope Florida's treating you well. So we go to my buddy's house, and he just moved out of his home because they were building another home. So he's living in this rental house, and he's like, man, this fucking house is. So I'm staying with him because my daughter's wedding's there in Akron, and he's like, yeah, just stay with me, blah blah blah. So I'm staying with him. He goes, and
is he the one that built that shop?
that big house, yeah.
Big shop. Yeah.
And he's like, man, this house is haunted as fuck, dude. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's crazy. He goes, we don't even go downstairs. He goes, because what happened the first day we moved in here is crazy. So he ended up finding, when he moved in, it's a rental home.
Yeah.
And I should ask him for permission to tell a story, but he ended up finding some things, some documents downstairs in a filing cabinet, but they weren't in the filing cabinet. There were some filing cabinets left in this basement. We ended up finding these documents that were about him on top of this filing cabinet with his name. Never been in this house before in his life.
What?
And so he goes, you can hear people run up the stairs. He goes, they'll come full speed up the stairs and boom, hit the door.
Right.
And then he goes, they'll go back down, come back up, boom, hit the door. So then one day, so I was like, okay, well,
Somebody opened the door.
somebody open the door. I want to see what's going on down there.
Yeah, just leave it open, you know.
So I go down, we go down there. He lets me in there. I go down there. And no shit, on the wall down there, there's an old black and white picture. And it caught me like this. And I was like, that's my kid. That's my kid.
You know the girl?
What?
I was like, that's my fucking kid.
Like the girl's been visiting you, or your actual child?
I called her my kid because that's kind of what she became.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's my kid. That's the one that's been
Right.
that attached herself to me. She's in that fucking photo,
Right.
wearing the same shit that she's wearing, this old 20s white style dress.
Right.
And so I ended up taking her back over there. I asked her to come with me, and she came with me, and she appeared herself in that house, and she has been gone ever since.
No kidding. She wanted you to find it.
She went home. So then I mapped it out, and where he lived and where I picked her up from were like 2 blocks apart and like 2 houses catty corner.
Say where she started following you, not where she picked her up. That sounds creepy as shit.
So it was like a short. It was like
Sherman's walking around with candy in his pocket.
yeah.
I died of diabetes, you dick.
So it was crazy though. It was like she was lost and missed. She got the wrong house. You know what I mean? Because they were similar style homes.
That's crazy. Here's a wild thing about this basement. So I've had a few people on this podcast that are sensitive to that kind of thing.
Right, you talked about that.
And Madeline had picked up on it, and so did Megan, about a little boy that lives down here who's scared. They said he can tell he's not, what's malevolent or benevolent? Which one's the bad one? I always get
Malevolent.
Malevolent's the bad one.
Yeah,
the aggressive one. And he's benevolent. He's easy. And I thought, okay, maybe. And then Silver Vincinetti came on, who's big into this shit, like super big. She's the one that drives that car with it on the Pennywise on the hood, that Trans Am or that Corvette. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's big into this shit. We're doing the podcast. She's all, we get done. She's like, "There's something down here." I go, "What do you mean?" And she described that same little boy as the other two did, without hearing. That didn't make it on the podcast. That about the little boy. Mm-hmm. This was something Madeline started just telling me, just like we're bullshitting afterwards.
Right.
So there might be some here, but I got to be careful because they got mad at me upstairs because there was a few workers that wouldn't come down if they heard that podcast. They had a few high school girls like, "I ain't going down near that bullshit podcast studio with this kid."
Larry's over here in his chair. He's like, "Oh, a little to the left." Oh, yeah. He's all.
He's hanging out with that little boy downstairs. I know it's a ghost, but it's messed up.
Why is he always taking candy down there?
Because he's a fat bastard. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? There's a turkey sandwich somewhere on his ass, guarantee you right now. But no, that's a crazy story, man.
The cool thing would be is if like you left these on, all night one night,
and recording,
and just see, because
and just record.
I've done that several times where I had like my own little ghost hunting equipment, had night vision cameras and. Recorders and shit, and I would set up and I would just leave, sit in rooms kind of like, taps guys would, and I got some cool shit, man. I've seen some cool stuff. That would be interesting to see.
At the Sands Theater, I full on believe there's something over
absolutely.
there. That's crazy over there, man. So I was going to do that. I talked about it. This recorder, when you take all the stuff off and go by these right here, it's sensitive. It picks up everything, man. I almost just left it on one night to see what it was. Matt Gordon, he's
Larry's like,
I catch the owners getting lucky. I'd be like, ugh, now I got to bribe them. That's weird. But it's crazy because Matt Gordon's mom and dad are amateur paranormal investigators. They came down and did the Sands Theater back before they all fixed it up for Patrick got a hold of it. So the two exit doors on the outside, right, there's little hallways in there. The one to the north, they had a camera backstage just pointed to the backstage. It was facing that one right there. At 3 a.m., and I'll take this video from Matt. I saw it's crazy. At 3 a.m., you see it like go, just turn right off, okay? Could be anything. Until you go over there and realize there's no light bulb in it. There's no light in that.
Shit.
Yeah. It was the craziest shit, man. Like, it just clicked on. And it was all rusted out and shit. Like, I don't even know if electricity would go through that thing, dude.
He's like,
no.
There's still power to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it just clicked on and clicked off. And I mean, like even Joe that used to own it said he saw shadow people in there constantly, man. So, and it's crazy because they can't follow you home.
Oh yeah, they can't attach themselves.
Yeah, you gotta almost tell them like like now I'm gonna leave and tell a little boy you gotta stay here. Go with Jerry's ass.
Well, and like shadow people are those ain't nothing to fuck around with.
Yeah,
you don't want them following because those can actually
hurt you.
They can cause serious harm.
Yeah. So, all right, crazy stuff, man. I'm a big believer in this stuff. Like, I'm gonna get cable back, like YouTube TV, just for football and watch the Travel Channel at Halloween, man. All that crazy haunted shit. But I would never go to a haunted place for that very reason. Because I don't want anything attaching and follow me home. Oh, would I like to? Would you? Are you a believer in this at all, Jerry?
You know what? It's not that I'm not a believer. But
nobody follow you home in the first place.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "What's going with this mother?"
This creepy stuff.
Felicia's probably like, "I barely folled him home."
Yeah,
exactly.
He had a lot of candy, and the candy that I like.
But are you
it's like I said, I'm not
either
one way or the other. It's not that I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, like I said, like with the Barrette thing, you know, I've had run-ins, minor, you know, little things, you know, but like in the room that I had downstairs.
Oh yeah, that was a creepy ass.
Yeah, that was a creepy room, and there was some things that went on down there, but you know, half the time I was drunk, so you know, I was like, fuck it, you know, whatever.
I don't know how that landed my ass. You know, I get it, Jerry. I get it. So.
Yeah.
Your dad's like, smell the room before you touch it.
There was a lot of creepy things that went down there. Mom would be like, "Where's the vacuum?"
Yeah.
Be like, "It's Jerry's room again."
Yeah. It's
Dad, where's the toaster?
Yeah, where's the
That's the cleanest room in the whole damn house.
yeah.
He's like doofy on that movie. Like, don't come in my room.
Don't go to my room.
Don't come in my room with a vacuum.
Yeah.
Mom said.
Exactly.
Hey,
But yeah, I'm not. Like I said, it's.
you're open to it, but you haven't seen anything that makes it.
Like whoa, you know. I mean, I did the Estes.
Oh, that Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel. You know, I went down in where the boiler room is, and we took pictures, and you know, we seen like little orbs or whatever in some of our pictures.
Could be dust. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it was neat. It's like fun to talk about. It's like
Yeah.
ooh.
So,
But yeah.
when
But
Mom,
I do know about this story.
Mom watches a podcast on her TV. You know what I mean? Her big screen.
Uh-huh.
And she caught this. I didn't catch it even in editing. And it was over here at the San Cedar. And I think it was Rena that came on, and Dempsey was the co-host. And there's a point where you see a little orb go down there, Dempsey. It goes up, and it's a weird path it takes. And that's all. It's just dust. It's just dust. For the life of me, I'd have to go back and look through it, though. Because Mom's like, did you see that little orb? And I go, what orb? Because she's watching on the big screen, so she caught it. I didn't even catch it. And so I look back, and Dempsey is talking. You see it. It was wild, man. So
That was Dencia thinking. That was a thought that just left her mind. I'm just playing.
Don't do that to Dad.
Yeah,
I got your back, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
I got your back, Dad.
yeah, I'm avoiding her, so it doesn't matter to me. All right. All right. You got 3 great stories: Dancing Bears, Crossover Ghosts, and Cold Springs Crossing. You got one in mind? Don't say it yet. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something a little different for this one. Okay.
Okay.
We're still gonna rock paper scissors just for bragging rights.
Okay.
Well, how do you rock paper scissors? Are you 3? Okay, 3 pumper.
Three
Perfect.
pumps.
No matter what, I'll guess first, since it's your brother, to make it fair. Because you might know. Don't say it to me.
Okay.
But you might have an idea. So I want to try honest to God without your input to see what it is. But we'll try. Ready?
Ready?
All right. You don't want anyway. But he tried to cheat me last time. He watched. He changes it last minute, but then changes it to what actually.
Yeah, he always,
Does the weird ones. I don't know what the.
It's like,
let me use my strong hand.
Yeah. He was our guest. She's like, is he cheating? I'm like, Jerry's some bitch. All right. Dancing Bears, Crossover Ghosts, and Cold Springs Crossing. Here's the thing. Cold Springs Crossing, I think, is a true story. I want to start off by saying I think no matter what the story is, it's an embellished story. I think you changed something in the story. Because there's something in all 3 of them that I thought, maybe. But if I had to guess, I'd say Cold Springs Crossing is a true story. The only thing I would think is embellished is maybe the non-trap door that your genius brother here thinks. Crossover Ghost, there's a lot of detail, and I think that might have happened, but I'm wondering if there's a piece of that's embellished, but I'm going to say that's a true story. I'm going to go with Dancing Bears because that just seems like the one that would be easiest to embellish. Plus, I think the yellow bear wouldn't be your friend. That yellow bear's a son of a bitch. So I'm going to go with Dancing Bears. I just think there's something there that doesn't fit. Maybe it's partly true. You guys did the mushrooms, but maybe that they didn't go to Boulder. There's something there. So I'm going to go with Dancing Bears. What do you think, Jerry?
So I initially was with Dancing Bears too. I know the Cold Spring Crossing. I remember him talking about that when he lived over there. But the part that the Cold Spring Crossing got me was he said he moved to Holyoke.
No, you're talking about the ghost one.
Yeah, you're talking about the ghost. The Crossover Ghost is
Oh,
the Holyoke.
Yeah. Well, Oh yeah.
Do we need
The
to
Ghost.
guess like 4 ultras ago? Is that when you started guessing?
Yeah, something like that. That's right. The Ghost, the crossover. Because he was saying that he lived in Akron, and I remember you talking about that in Akron. But then you said you moved to Holyoke, and then you were saying that you lived like part close to it. So I'm going with crossover Ghost.
Okay, so you think there's something there?
Yeah, I think.
It's Jerry not listening well.
Okay.
But we're gonna let him, and then I'll
Okay.
Before I forget to say, by the way, Corby Needler's going to come back on the podcast. I talked to him. He says, him and Amy says to say, hey, they know Sherman pretty well, I guess. He used to work with her at the sheriff's. Yeah.
Corby's a good dude, man.
Yeah, we went over to Corby's one time.
Yeah. Good dude, man. Great friend.
He's a great dude. Yeah, he says to tell you, make sure I tell you hi, because I told him you were coming back on. So.
I appreciate that.
What's up, Corby Needler?
Corby Needler,
What's up,
my
baby
guy.
Needler, you know?
Give me a call, buddy.
I told Amy she can come on. She's never going to take me up on it, because apparently she got stories that the statute of limitations ain't up on yet, I guess.
I'll say there's some good jail stories there.
I'll bet. So I'm going to go with Dancing Bears. You're going to go with the crossover Ghost?
Yeah, initially I was going to go with Dancing Bears as well, but I don't know.
Which one do you want to do? You want to stay with crossover Ghost or go with Dancing Bears? You're going to double up on him. Which one are you thinking? What do you think?
Well, initially I was going Dancing Bears.
So you want to do both Dancing Bears?
Fuck it, let's do it.
Okay, before you flip that over, I do want to say, hey, thank you to the Brush Emporium, man. 210 Clayton Street. Come check these guys out. But thank you, Brush Emporium, for giving us this great place down here. But what do you think, by the way, Sherman? This is your first time down here.
It's first time down here. Cool setup.
Yeah.
Cool place upstairs, before you got here. Just kind of walked around the place.
Yeah.
Good atmosphere, good vibe.
Yeah.
The staff here is way beyond nice.
Right.
Just wonderful, accommodating staff. So I actually ordered a couple pizzas from here. So
nice.
take it home after I leave here.
Oh, yeah, you won't be disappointed.
And
Man.
the menu looks phenomenal for a fat kid.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's great here, man.
I'll tell you what, we had a pizza here, and the toppings were just stellar.
Yeah.
Stellar.
It's homemade pizza, man. It's not your corporate,
Right.
stuff you've gotten used to over the years. This is actually a homemade people, and the 4 people that own this are great people from Brush, Colorado. They really give a shit about this town, They've done a great place here. They have people upstairs. You want to have a gift, you can look on Amazon, or you can come down here and get one that's custom made by a local person.
Yeah.
From Akron to Fort Morgan. They're all over the place.
And you're supporting the local.
You're supporting local people. Yeah. And as I always say, the coolest thing about upstairs here is that they have a great seating area, but if you look in the corner, they have a bunch of board games, old school board games. Bring the kids down and show them how we used to spend the day, before the PlayStation 5 was a thing. You know what I mean?
Right. And Larry still don't know how to play checkers.
You know what? I'm learning, assholes. But anyway, it's a great place. 210 Clayton Street. If you haven't been here, what are you waiting for, man? Come support people. If you love this podcast, then come support the people who support this podcast. All right?
Amen.
You should do the Bullhucker tour, though. The Bullhucker.
Come down here and
the tour. Tour the county again. I think.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was a good time.
It was fun, but setting that thing up sucks. Sherman, I can't lie to you, man. It's so much nicer to have it here.
Process.
Right, you just walk in and just turn it on.
Oh man, you remember because we did 2 that night, right? You and Lindsay both, All right. Anything else, Jerry?
I think we're good.
Hey, whoa! You always want this part.
Yeah.
Oh, he talks all
And,
trash.
Even I remembered I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was waiting for it. I was like,
Sherman's like, if you like what you,
yeah.
It's small.
If you like what you see, click the little button down there to subscribe. It's a small click for you and a big click for us.
Hey, it's a small click for you, big click for us. Bottom right hand corner, little red button, man.
I can't remember if it was right or left. So,
I always do this. I always go right, but point towards the left on the screen. So
that was way too big of a job for Jerry.
Yeah, I've been doing good up till now.
Yeah.
He was in the mirror. That's why he was late. He was in the mirror.
Felicia's like, what are you doing?
I saw that little kid massaging Larry. I was like, hey, you need to get over here, buddy. I'm a little sore on this left side.
Fingers, so. All right, so we're actually going to team up, man. Dancing Bears. What
Teaming
do you
up
got,
on
bro?
me, huh? It's Dancing Bears.
Oh, shit.
What's not true about that story?
The elephant's coming down the mountain.
Okay. All right.
That's it. That's the only thing that I embellished a little bit. And when I told it, I got myself, missing something part of that. Because, when you come out of Boulder, you really don't have a mountain. You can't really see a mountain. But yeah, so it's the dancing bears. But everything besides everything besides the elephants marching down the mountain,
Right.
everything's true about that.
And there was, with the other two, sometimes on this podcast, you start to realize when people tell the true story, they're passionate about it. You know what I mean? You can tell when it's a cherished memory almost, you know, or something that really happened to them that imprinted on them. And those other two stories were very much a case of that. Crossover Girl, that's a true story.
True story.
That's nuts, man.
I do remember the whole slamming door thing. I remember you talking.
So where Jerry was confused is, it was in Akron. Then I got a divorce, moved to my apartment in Akron.
Right.
And then from that apartment, me and Brendan ended up moving to Holyoke.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was a...
Right.
And what's his name lives in Holyoke?
Who?
The guy that built that house. Right?
No, Chad lived in Akron.
Yeah, he was my insurance guy for a while. He's a good dude, man.
Oh, I'm thinking of the bald guy. That we went and partied with.
Chad.
Him and his...
Oh, you're thinking of Justin Herman.
Justin
Herman.
Yeah.
What's up, Justin
Trisha.
Herman?
Yeah.
Justin and Trish Herman. Good people from Holyoke.
Yeah, that's what you're right. I did get confused because that's who I was thinking of. I was thinking of the Hermans.
Oh, okay.
Colt Springs Crossing. That's a true story.
True story.
That's fucking wild, man. I like the local references, man. You know what I mean? So your dad's ready to get down and shoot some people, huh?
And I do remember that night.
Yeah. And if you ever really get talking to my dad and you hear some of his stories, and man, and it's the way he is with things, it's like Jerry said, it's fucking all or nothing. Like we're not backing down. You know, we're either walking out of here or we're not.
Yeah.
But we're not leaving.
Yeah.
But somebody's coming down with us.
And that's why I said, the best reference I could give about my dad was, Wolf of Wall Street was like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I was like, because that's how passionate he gets.
Yeah.
Like, somebody threatens his territory, man. It's on.
I think
And that was a learning point. He always does little things that I don't know if he realizes he's doing it, but he does them in such an extreme way that it sticks with you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It really sticks with you on how passionate he is about a lot of things when it comes to family, friends. I mean, just if you're attached to us, you're attached to us. You got to really fuck up to break that.
it'd be cool if old Larry Kage would come on and tell us some
It would be
stories.
cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
But keeping him on point would be a whole nother point. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's squirrel. I mean, it's not just one squirrel. There's it's like a box of squirrels.
Here's the awkward point where I tell these two that it must be a Cage thing. Okay, so I hate to break it to you, boys, but the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Okay,
All right,
We'll take
that. We'll take that.
except for Steven because he's the best one. He stayed on point the whole time. It was very organized. I enjoyed that episode. The whole. What's up, Steven?
But that's a single. It's a single chromosome. It's like
So bad.
there's only one light. There's only one light there, Larry.
Focus on Larry. Focus on Larry. He's staring at me. Shit. Tell story. Just tell story.
Hulk smash.
Steven, walk in.
Hulk smash.
Poor Steven. He's the best one. So anyway, man, Sherman, it's awesome to see you again,
Yeah,
dude.
it's great to be back, man. I was so thrilled when you asked me back.
Of course,
I wasn't as thrilled when you told me he was going to be co-hosted.
I gave you the chance to have Adam.
You did.
here.
You gave me the chance to. And it took me a couple weeks. I was like, gosh, I kept putting Larry off. And it's like, man, I don't know if I want to be part of this shit.
I told Jerry, I said, I'm gonna ask your brother back on. He's like, when we doing it? When we doing it?
Yeah, when we doing it?
We're gonna abuse my brother. That's what it was. So before you go, though, I do want to tell you the one funny story I have about your family. Is Steve comes on, he tells a story that you didn't want to tell on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he starts telling this story, and I'm thinking. And Jerry was very adamant about not telling this story,
Yes.
So when you walked up to my truck the next day, you're like, "Hey, how's Steve doing?" I go, "Did really well."
Yeah. I
The
know.
thing, he told me a story, not as good as you told me the story, but he still told me the incriminating part of that story. So
Oh, I know.
I laughed.
Well,
you're fine now. You're fine
and
now.
we are, but there was still more that he wasn't involved.
He
in.
didn't see.
That
Yeah.
that.
And he was pretty young at the
which
time.
is good because he could tell it from his point of view.
Yeah.
And so his point of view was the perfect way to tell it.
Yeah, there was a lot of
there was after drama after that, and
there was before drama.
That was more that, and right, correct. That so it wasn't incriminating in any way. So,
right.
which was good. So
yeah, he probably told it the best way it could have been told from his point of view.
yes, yes,
because he was a lot younger, he didn't see the full thing go down like us two did.
Correct.
And because it
was some amazing police work. I'll tell you what, it was amazing police work.
FMPD was on point that day.
I mean, if they could have been. If they had a helicopter, I could have seen them just like fast roping down.
It was like some ninja shit. It was on
point.
And we timed it just perfect though.
Oh my gosh!
All right.
Oh my gosh!
That's a great story. You have to Stephen Kage because he was ballsy enough to tell it. So
I know this. I know this isn't going to air for a minute. You know what I mean? But I just want to say one thing.
That should be next Tuesday. It's going to air.
Okay. I just want to say one thing before I leave. I appreciate you both. You know what I mean? It's a great podcast. I'm a big fan. But most importantly, go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Right. We'll be at the Husker game this weekend, bitches. Let's go.
And there's the edit button.
Oh, that's something there. But once again, man, thanks for coming. It's good to see you, man. It really is.
Always good to see you, buddy.
An old friend, man. So, Jerry, thanks for coming back and co-hosting.
I apologize for last week.
Oh, we made fun of you. It's fine.
Oh, I know. I saw the first part of the podcast, and I already gave Rob a bunch of shit. I'm like, you know what? Screw you, fags. I'm like talking shit. I'm like talking shit. I'm like, all right, yeah, I dropped the ball. I did.
That's all good. It's all good. But on the serious note, Larry Cage, the invitation stands, bro. So if he's down, just let me know.
It's going to take a lot of editing. And like I said, it's going to take several hours. Cause I'm serious. It's a box. It's a 12-pack of squirrels.
Hey, you know what? I'm in, dude.
You're gonna get 80% of this story and another 30% and another. I mean,
and we may circle back to the first 80%, but we may not.
You know what? Maybe he's the ultimate bullhucker. Maybe he's got the formula to kick ass at this.
Maybe he's episode 2200, right?
Because the chances are you're never going to get the full story because he's not going to finish it.
I actually had that happen, but that's here nor there. So
and you'll probably catch a joke in between it here and there. So.
Anyway, man, I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Jerry Kage.
Hey, we'll catch you next time. Peace.